We do have some breaking news in that regard, where Congressman Jim Jordan just won a closed-door vote with his Republican caucus, the speaker vote. Ali Vitale joins us from the Hill. Ali, what's the latest here?
Kristen, they do have a new speaker designee. In this case, it's Jim Jordan, who won, which we expected. What we didn't expect was that his margin would be so slim, coming out with only 124 votes, according to the members that we've spoken to as they've been leaving this meeting. The person who jumped into this race sort of spur of the moment, the congressman from Georgia, Austin Scott, got 81 votes. It's notable because the whip operation there had a very short amount of time and certainly was not nearly as organized and didn't have the lead time that Jordan had, having been whipping for his speakership over the course of the last week, really. Nevertheless, this presents yet another inflection point for this conference. Many people expected that Jordan would not just win, but win by a much larger margin. He seems to only have picked up about 24 votes from the time that they did this vote on Wednesday, and that vote, of course, was won by Steve Scalise. We know how that speaker bid turned out, however short-lived it was. But this is now a moment for Republicans to decide, and I think that they are doing another ballot right now. I think that it's about whether or not they should go to the floor and whether or not members would vote for Jordan if they put this on the floor. But that's sort of the next question. We always knew that they would clear the threshold of electing someone by a majority, simple majority behind closed doors. But it's a much different game when you actually go to the House floor and try to hit 217, which clearly Jordan, just like everyone else who's tried to get this job since McCarthy was ousted, is short of.
Well, and it's so fascinating to hear you talk about that very narrow margin that exists. Ali, could we in fact see a full vote? And talk a little bit about Jim Jordan, because as you say, Representative Scott from Georgia threw his hat into the ring, quite critical of Jordan, concerned that if Jordan were to be speaker, there could be deep budget cuts, particularly of the Pentagon at this very critical moment.
Yeah, deep budget cuts at the Pentagon and other pieces of the Jordan persona are also a concern, especially for those members who are concerned about the fact that he bucked subpoenas from the January 6th committee, from his proximity and consistent contact with former President Donald Trump. Jordan, of course, a longtime ally of the former president, concern over the role that he may have played on January 6th. All of those are key pieces of the Jordan resume, as much as members are also looking at his conservative bona fides as a selling point. This is something that for moderates makes it a little bit more difficult for them to get on board. Nevertheless, we haven't heard a lot of protests from them, at least not publicly, in terms of who they would be supporting, if not Jordan and if not Scott. I think the striking thing here, though, when you question whether or not Jordan should go to the floor, is there were questions about if Scalise made a tactical mistake by not going immediately from this closed-door meeting, rushing it to the floor. But that's also why some members said they didn't want to vote for him. They didn't like the speed with which he tried to parlay the momentum from behind closed doors onto the full House floor. A lot of opinions here, not a lot of shy wallflowers within this conference. And when you have just a cluster of them, between 4 and 5, who want to make noise, that's where you start running into problems. And so whether it's Scalise, whether it's McCarthy, whether it's Jordan, and frankly, whether it's someone else, they are all going to have these numbers problems. And it's an open question how they ultimately proceed here, because there is pressure for Jordan to try to take whatever momentum he has and put this on the floor and have people put their names to a vote. But there's also the desire to not continue embarrassing the party and making it look like a chaos conference, which, of course, it very much has been over the course of the last few weeks.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.